Stress, anxiety, worry, fear. These are all normal human emotions that we have when we have lost control. In COVID-19, any kind of illness, whether it's cancer or anything, we get stressed. When you lose your job, when you are put on lockdown, when you have to wear a mask. These are things that we would not choose to do on the run-of-the-mill day. So when we are put in a position where we are told what to do, none of us really like it most of the time. So what this little short video is going to be about is just some ways and some things to think about as we're dealing with stress and anxiety and fear, which causes anger. Anger is always secondary, and we're seeing a lot of people be angry about this COVID-19 thing and not being able to work. People are having big rallies, they're picketing, they're bringing guns. I couldn't believe I saw somebody with a gun in the back of his pickup at one of these rallies. Alcohol consumption's up 55%, or at least purchases. Gun purchases have doubled since COVID-19 started. And these are ways that people think they should cope with anxiety. So my question to you is, how are you coping? How are you dealing with this? Are the ways that you're dealing with it healthy? Are they good for you? Are they working? If they're not working, then you need to think about something else. If they're not healthy for you, then you need to think about something else, because eating lousy, not exercising, doing things that cause more stress or lower our immune system is going to cause more illness and more susceptibility to things. So really, my goal is to have people feel a sense of peace and joy and prosperity. How do you do that in the middle of this? It is possible. It is possible to have some deep joy and have a positive attitude. The key to this is thinking differently. So what I want you to do as you listen to this, and if you've joined one of my workshops where I'm having people actually do some self-reflection, think about, what are you doing? Is it working? And if not, what else could you do? Now, for me, my foundation is my spirituality. My walk with God, I became a Christian in 1976. I always believed, but I finally made that spiritual awakening where it could mean God in my life could be more to me than just somebody I pray to when I'm in a crisis. It could mean that I really have a purpose, that God actually created me for a reason, that I really have a meaningful opportunity to make changes in people's lives. And I have never had, hardly that I can think of, an opportunity like I have right now when so many people are hurting and struggling. And you do too. Whatever you've been created to do, this is an opportunity for you to do some self-reflection, to figure out what has God created you for, and then how do you do that and still get paid for it. So maybe you've been in manufacturing and that's all you think you can do. That's baloney. There's a lot more things that you can do. I am guessing that when you go home, you don't do exactly the same thing that you do at work that you get paid for. Maybe you don't even like your job. You just go because it pays you money. Well, that's not what it's all about. If you're doing what my belief is, if you're doing what God actually created you to do, you're going to want to do it every day. You're going to go with joy, not just because you're getting a paycheck. What you're supposed to do is probably what you do in your spare time for fun. Now, if it's shooting frisbee, there's not a lot of people that get paid for that. But I'll tell you, I had one guy when I was a job center counselor who was retiring. He lost his job in manufacturing where he was a manager. He said, what do I do? I'm 65 years old. What do I do? I said, what do you want to do? He said, fish. I'm going to teach people how to fish. So guess what? We started John's Fishing Guide service. And he made just enough money to, do what he wanted to do in his retirement, doing what he loved. So don't limit yourself to the possibilities of how you can get beyond the stress and anxiety of what you're doing right now. Acceptance truly is the key to all your problems, like it says in the big book of AA. That's what I found. If I can accept the things I can't change, like I've got the serenity prayer back here, but it's probably backwards for you. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you hang with me, I'll give you some wisdom, I'll give you some tools, and I'll help you to get past this in a positive, healthy way that I guarantee you will give you purpose, meaning, joy, and serenity if you do it. This is Linda Larson Schlitz from the Faucet of Hope.